So a lot of today's video is going to be time lapse, and so I'm going to narrate from time to time what we're working on. Overall, the whole process took us about 4 days. We had a lot of issues with rain that slowed us down, and we tried to find other things to keep ourselves busy. It actually, if we had had good weather, we really could have gotten the majority of this done in about 2.5 days, I'd estimate. So as you can see, what we're doing now, we talked about this in previous videos. We I took a lot of inspiration from Dave Whipple of Bush Radical has built several cabins. I think he's got at least one video of a cabin that he built in Alaska. Maybe there's a couple of them for Alaska, and also there's a couple videos for cabins that he built on his property in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. But if you haven't seen his videos, you got to go watch those, especially if you're considering building your own little small off-grid cabin. Um, the way he goes through the process is very straightforward. It helps you to realize it's a lot easier than you really think. There's always, the fine details and the finishing that takes time and can be tedious, but the overall process is displayed really well in his videos, and it really gave me some inspiration and confidence that we could get this done together, my son and I. So I watched a lot of what he did and took notes. We're basically trying to duplicate that to a certain degree. We did do a few things differently, but what we're working on now is putting little 2x2 pieces of wood on the bottom of each one of these cells. And then we'll be placing plywood on top of those to so it'll make a completely closed bottom of the foundation there, that platform. And then once we've got the plywood in each one of the cells, we'll put insulation in, and then some plastic on top of the insulation for a vapor barrier there. And ultimately, then we'll put the flooring on, the floorboards. So that's what we're doing now. It's a bit of a tedious work. We're putting all the little 2x2s on, and then we'll be cutting out little notches here and there so that the plywood fits in with the posts. Overall, this took quite a bit longer than we expected, but came out with a really good um, end result. Really liked what we got done. And let me just say that I'm very, very grateful that my son was willing to take time off of his life to come out and help me, for 6 weeks during the summer. He put his life on hold, took some leave from work, and left a girlfriend behind, and came out and spent some time in the woods with his dad. And he did a great job. He was extremely helpful. We had fun. Although I know that by the time the 6 or 8 weeks was over, he was ready to come home and get back to normal life. But again, I just grateful for all the help that he gave me. My wife will make an appearance here as we get close to finishing up the cabin. She came out actually at a pretty good time when we needed some help to decorate and make it look a little nicer on the inside. There's tons of things that we have to do, a lot of trim and finish that we need to do, but she's a designer by profession, so she's got a lot of input, and there's very specific things that we need to do to make sure she's happy with the end product. So she'll be out again soon, and she'll have a lot more input. Although she doesn't like being on camera, so she'll be peeking around from time to time, but won't probably spend a lot of time in front of the camera. Now, my daughter, on the other hand, she is very busy in the summer. She does a lot of travel for work in summer, and we haven't been able to get her out yet, but hopefully in the next year or so we'll get her out. Hopefully she'll be able to come out and help and to enjoy some time out here at the cabin. This is the fun one we gotta do still. Gotta do that thin space. What we're gonna do is we're gonna be we put the wood in here to hold the insulation on and keep animals out of it from nesting inside the insulation. So now that once we finish this up, our next step is to put the insulation in, and then we'll start we're gonna put a layer of plastic down as well, and then we'll put the floorboards on. Everything's over there, all the supplies. Okay, so you can see we've already got the insulation in the flooring, and put the plastic on and start putting on these other boards. Gonna put the plastic on, and now we're right here to putting on the boards. Here's where we realized, wait a minute, we're putting this in the wrong direction, so we had to slide it over so we had the right pattern on the flooring. Yeah, we're measuring it, and like, this isn't gonna work. There we go. Yeah, that's where we're at. And this is where we really felt good about the progress we were starting to make. Things were moving along. We're getting the flooring on. Of course, this always takes longer than you expected, but after this, we go to the real progress, is just getting the framing up, and the walls, and roofing, getting all that on. So that's the exciting part. Here we go, board number 2. Now this flooring has tongue and groove on it. So as you put the boards in, you got to make sure to get that tongue and groove lined up and pushed in. So you can see we'll spend a little bit of time tapping on the boards, making sure we're getting a nice seat, getting it fit in there really well, so the tongue and groove seats well together. With the plastic on, it really didn't seem like a good idea to put caulk down, on the floor trusses, because with the plastic, it would just stick to the plastic, not to the floor truss. So we got the screws. We put quite a few in the floor, so that should help quite a bit to prevent the squeaking you sometimes get on flooring. Here we go. You can hear the tapping. We tap these grooves into place. And one of the things that's going on right now, we are about an hour away from Traverse City. And every year they have a big cherry festival. Traverse City is, they consider themselves to be the cherry capital of the world. And for all I know, that's absolutely true. But they have a big festival every summer. And the Blue Angels were there this year. And you could hear them practicing actually before the festival. And they were flying over the property sometimes. So you'll hear a jet fly over from time to time. And my knees were really paying the price here. I guess I'm starting to get to that age where hard to get up and down, and my knees were starting to swell after this. Definitely need to get some new pads.
Ooh. Am I missing some?
All right, this is the exciting part. We're putting the framing together for that first floor, or that first wall. There's going to be a loft in the cabin, not necessarily a second floor, but that first wall going up here. And this is where you really feel like you're getting something done now. All the other little processes seem to take a long time, but framing is always a very satisfying process because you just see the progress happening. It feels like you're moving really well. There's a few things here that we probably could have done a lot better, and we go back and we address some of those issues later. Like for instance, I think they call it like a California corner or something. We needed to put another stud in the corners so that we have a nailer when we're putting any walling or paneling, or you put the wall on the drywall, whatever it may be. Um, and as we put this up, we didn't quite have those nailers in, so that's something that we had to go back after and put in, which is a little bit of a pain. But we're noobs. We don't really know what we're doing, but we're doing our best with the knowledge we have. Sometimes it's show, but I'm really pretty proud of what we're able to get done together.
Yes, that's where I started picking up my call.
Here we go. Stand it up.
Okay, too far over this side. Ready? Hang on. You want to nail this? No, I'm not. Like this. Hang on. Can't almost flush with the board. Okay, the board underneath, not the, yeah, not the board. We can. We can come this way here. Whack it, come this way.
Yeah. Kind of funny to hear our voices going really fast here, but it's coming along. I'm not fond of the time lapse videos, speeding things up. But a lot of this is just a slow process, and it's like watching, grass grow or paint dry. It's real boring. So, did my best to show the progress we were making here, and it shows a little bit. Unfortunately, I lost quite a few sections of video. We had a little mishap with the cloud service that we were using for storage, and I wasn't able to get some of the videos downloaded. They would either lose the audio or they just were unusable. Somehow they got corrupted, and this is one of those areas. As we were building some the walls here, there was just no video I could get to use, so I ended up having to use some pictures, and you'll see that as we go through the video. Getting that plumbed up and standing up firm. Big step. we did come back later. You notice Caleb's putting nails in here. We did come back later
First
with
wall
some
is
big
standing,
lag screws.
and Caleb is laying out the marks for the studs on the next wall. Now we've got number 2 up. And now we got number 2 up, tacking it back down. We don't know the dimensions for the doors yet, but we'll build some walls and finish up the doors later. 2 walls, or 3 walls up now with the door.
There's wall number 4. Again, we couldn't get any video. I had some video from my phone that I had posted some shorts with. Best I could get was a photo.
So we've been fighting the rain. It looks like it's going to be coming on and off. Today we were planning to put on some roof trusses, but the rain came, so we had to get everything covered. So instead we're throwing some siding on. We're using the T111 as the siding on the outside right now, and that way we can we don't have to put on plywood and then another piece of siding. This will kind of skip a step and save a little bit of money. So we'll get as much of this done that we can, then we'll work on the Raptors, get those up probably next step, as long as we don't get rained out.
So on the photo here, you can see the red sunset that's kind of shining on the side of the cabin. Really pretty. But this is one of the areas where I just couldn't get a video, so I was able to grab one of the pictures that I had taken. So the siding that we did put on was just to get it squared, but with the rain, we ended up just putting siding all around except for the one side. Our original goal was to make the trusses, get those installed, get the roof on, and then come back and finish up the rest of the siding. We put a couple pieces on that were to help square everything up, but the rain just kept coming, and we wanted to stay busy, and it just wasn't gonna work the way we had planned.
Okay, so we've been struggling with the rain for the last 3 or 4 days now. Yesterday we got a little bit of work done in the afternoon. The rain stopped coming, and we were able to put a few more of the trusses up. We've got all the roofing material that we need, which is all along the side here, but we don't want to try to put it up when it's raining and wet and slippery, and we didn't plan for it to be cold as well. It's in the high 40s, low 50s. And so we've been trying to stay warm and stay dry, and we didn't want to get too wet. We get too wet, we'll get too cold. And so we'll, on and off today, we'll be trying to get some stuff done, and we'll see how well it goes.
Yeah, the rain really affected our priorities there. We wanted to get the roof on as quick as possible to kind of mitigate the rain, but that actually stopped us so many times.
Okay, still buttoning up parts of the roofing. We got a lot of little bird blocking to do. Cleaning up little things here and there before we can start putting the metal on. So you can see we still got a few more purlins to put in. Caleb's finishing up the other side, but we're moving along. Well, we were able to complete the roof today. The weather held up. It was really quite nice today, not too hot and no more rain, so we were able to get up on the roof and complete the full roof. Got the ridge cap on. We're not doing a fascia right now, but we just need to finish these gable ends, get the rest of the siding on that front door, and then we'll be mostly dried in. We have a few little things we'll have to lock up so that we can move into the cabin here shortly and get that kind of set up, and then we'll be on to building a new shower and new privy. So we're pretty proud of what we got done today, and excited that we're just about ready to start getting in there. Okay, so we have the gable end framed up here. You can kind of see a picture of the little loft that we got built. Just kind of similar to this one on the other side. Let me flip you around. Yeah, and so this is a picture from the loft looking at the other gable end. We have it framed up and we're ready to start putting siding on and get it all buttoned up. So be finishing that up later today. Okay, you can see we got the gable ends finished up today. We do have to do some trim still, but we are able to get the gable ends framed in and siding up. It's getting pretty dark, so we're losing daylight, but we're going to be working on the loft, putting insulation into the next couple of days so that we can get in here and get some warmth during the night. We were down to 40 last night, so it was pretty cold in the tent, but things are going well. We have still got a lot to do, but getting to a good spot where we're pretty much dried in. Pretty exciting.
That'll do it for this week's video. Next week, we'll be working on the installation, trying to do some of the interior and get some things finished up in there. We'll definitely be moving in here to try to stay warm in the evenings. If you're interested in seeing the videos by Bush Radical on how he built his cabins, I'll leave a link in the description below. But again, thanks so much. Please like, subscribe. We'll see you next time.